The ego. Welcome to Course in Miracles here on Facebook Live. I'm Earl Purdy, and I'm glad to have you with me. And we're going to talk about how do you have the peace of reality, the total fulfillment of reality. We're going to talk about how do you have peace in the middle of all this stuff that's going on. What is our reality really like? And this is A Course in Miracles on Facebook Live with Earl Purdy. And we're going to start out with our theme song, which is I'm Not a Victim of the World I See. Victim of the past, the victim of anything that really doesn't last. I'm not a victim. Hey, be right back. Of the world I see, I'm not a victim of the world I see. Cause what's happening now is what I've done to me. I'm not a victim of the world I see. I'm not a victim of the world I see. I'm not a victim, no, of the world I see. I'm not a victim, no, of the world I see. I'm not a victim, no, of the world I see. I'm not a victim, no, of the world I see. No matter how much you mucking with me.
It's just one of those days.
Yeah, it's so funny. It's so funny. Testing 1 2 1 2. Testing 1 2 1 2 1 2. Testing. Not a victim of the world I see. I'm not a victim of the world I see. I'm not a victim of the world I see. I'm not a victim of the world I see. I'm not a victim of the world I see. I'm not a victim of my mom. I'm not a victim of my pa. I'm not a victim of events or circumstance at all. I'm not a victim of the world I see. I'm not a victim of the world I see. Cause what's happening now is what I've done to me. That's what's happening right now. What I've done to me. I'm not a victim of the future, not a victim of the past, not a victim of anything that really doesn't last. I'm not a victim of the world I see. I'm not a victim of the world I see. Cause what's happening now is what I've done to me. Testing. I'm not a victim of the world I see. I'm not a victim of the world I see. I'm not a victim, no, of the world I see. Welcome to A Course in Miracles. I'm Earl Purdy. We're getting past all the technical calls for God that's happening right now. Yeah. But we're going to talk about what I need right now. The peace of heaven. The peace of love. On page 266 in the Course in Miracles text. I'm not a victim of the North. I'm not a victim of the South. Not a victim of anything. So what comes out my mouth. I'm not a victim of the world I see. Cause what's happening now is what I've done to my, oh yeah, I'm not a victim of the world I see. I'm not a victim of the world I see. I'm not a victim now of the world I see. You're not a victim, I'm not a victim, no matter what it looks like. You do not need, you don't have to believe it. You don't have to believe this. 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 You don't have to welcome this. You don't have to welcome this. You don't have to welcome this. Accept this or believe it. You don't have to believe it. Some of it's going to be quite startling. You're not being asked to analyze the ideas at all. We're not going to analyze. We're not going to analyze. We're going to use the ideas. Not a victim of the world I see. I'm not a victim of the world I see. What's happening now is what it's done to me. Down, 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 down. Oh yeah. That's what's happening to me with all the technology called for God that's going on right now. Must mean I got some good stuff to tell y'all today. I'm Earl Purdy here on Facebook Live, and we're going to be in the Peace of Heaven, which is on page 266 in the text, in the Foundation for Inner Peace version of the course, chapter 13, section 11, the peace of heaven. The peace of heaven, the peace of heaven, the peace of heaven. Heaven is the Course in Miracles definition of the word reality. So you can always just substitute the word reality when you see the word heaven in the Course in Miracles. So we're talking about the peace of reality. The peace of reality. What do you mean, Earl? The Course in Miracles says that one of the reasons why we can be absolutely certain that what we're dealing with is not reality is because we don't have peace. The Course in Miracles has the incredible premise of saying there's only love is real, only peace is real, only happiness is real, only abundance is real. But if you're not seeing it and you're not experiencing it, would that mean that you are not dealing with reality? Would that mean that, according to the Course, you are not dealing with reality? Because reality is totally satisfying. Reality is total love, total freedom, total peace, total joy, total abundance. So you need to make a decision. You need to make a decision whether or not you're going to side with the idea that love is the reality that you want, or conflict and fear is the reality that you think you want. So the Course in Miracles is this is going to be such a loving section that it may be difficult for you to remain conscious. I'm telling you right now, this is such a loving section. You might find yourself wanting to drift off and not focusing on what I'm saying. And guess what? I don't care. Okay? Just want to be clear. So you innocent? Because I don't care. Because that's how I show my love for you. Is making it okay for you to be however you're going to be, however you want to be it. That's what love does. So as people love you more, you're going to find they're going to say, I don't care. You can do whatever you want to do, however you want to do it, as long as you want to do it with whoever you want to do it with. I don't care. I don't care because I love myself. I feel whole and complete. I don't need you to validate me in any kind of way for me to feel good about myself. So I'm not trying to control you simply because I don't think you need to be a certain way for me to be happy. So I want to know what the peace of reality is. I want to know what the peace of love is. And the Course in Miracles says that peace means total fulfillment. That one of the definitions of peace is total fulfillment. So when we say the peace of heaven, we're talking about the total fulfillment of reality. We're talking about the total fulfillment of love. The Course in Miracles also defines heaven as perfect joy. So you could say the peace of perfect joy, the total fulfillment of perfect joy. That's even better. The total fulfillment, peace of heaven, perfect joy. So this is about the total fulfillment of perfect joy. So what is your ego's best advice? What is the part of you that doesn't want you to be happy? What is its best advice? What is the advice that the part of you that doesn't love you, what is the advice that it gives you for dealing with the perceived and harsh intrusion of guilt? The part of you, the ego, that doesn't know the truth, the part of you that has fear in it, the part of your mind that has guilt in it, it has some advice for you. And it has the kind of advice it gives you for dealing with your guilt and your fear. So this is the wrong advice. I'm about to give you the wrong advice for dealing with guilt. This is the wrong advice. You ought to be familiar with that by now. You ought to be pretty familiar with giving yourself the wrong advice. So when I said wrong advice, they'll be, oh, yeah, okay, I'm with you, buddy. I know exactly what you're talking about. How do you know you've been giving yourself wrong advice? Well, you don't have the total fulfillment of perfect joy. That's how you know, right? So the Course in Miracles says you do 3 things in dealing with guilt. The ego says, the wrong voice says you do 3 things in dealing with guilt. You try to forget it, you go to sleep, or you die. Said, I want you to forget it. I want you to either go unconscious or I want you to die. So there's a part of the mind that wants you to forget, go to sleep, and die. There's a part of the mind that wants you to forget how to deal with stuff. There's a part of you that wants you to just go unconscious and go to sleep and don't really know what the heck is going on. In other words, be a regular person. And then there's another part of you that says, don't you just want to die? Why don't you just die? You ever heard that voice? It'd be a lot better if you was just dead. Why don't you leave? Why don't you go? So that the part of you that doesn't love you says, I want you to die. And it also says to you, just go unconscious. Or it says to you, forget the truth. Forget how to really deal with everything. So you got that? Now, the Course in Miracles says, nobody who sees themselves in conflict and ravaged by a cruel war unless, what makes you believe that you're in conflict? What's making you see yourself as you're in conflict? He said, well, you believe that your opponents in your war are real. You really believe there's somebody that's out to get you, that somebody is really opposing you, that there's something out there that's threatening you. The Course in Miracles says, if you're a person in conflict, do you know that that means that you believe that you have opponents in a war and that this war and this conflict is real? There's something out there you're fighting against. You got some kind of opponent out there. So you believe you must escape. You got to escape from this opponent. All these people that are opposing you, keeping you from being happy, you must escape, because if you are in a situation where you're in conflict because you believe that you have opponents everywhere, the Course in Miracles says, in that case, then it is very much destructive to your peace of mind. So you think that this thing that's opposing you is finally going to destroy you. You think that there's something out there that's going to destroy you. You believe that there's something, and you know that's what we're being told every day, right? If you watch the news, it's what all they're saying on every network is there's something out there that's going to destroy you. As a matter of fact, there's an endless number of things out there that's going to destroy you. And what we've done as a favor to you is we've categorized them and put the major ones all together for you to watch right now, and you call it the news. And what you're seeing is everything, we're telling you everything you got to be on the lookout for that's going to destroy you. That's what we're doing. You're in conflict right now, so there's a part of you that believes you could be destroyed. There's a part of you that believes there are opponents. And there's a part of you that's telling you to deal with your guilt by just going to sleep, forgetting it, and dying. That's what the Course in Miracles is saying. Now, understand, I am the divine repetition teacher. I'm the truth remembrance teacher. I'm not here to analyze the Course in Miracles. What I'm here to do is to deliver a message, hopefully in such a way that you will hear it over and over again so that you won't forget it. So my purpose is for people to hear what the Course in Miracles says, not that you have to agree with it, believe it, or go along with what I'm saying. That's not what I'm about. I'm not trying to get you to agree with me. I'm not trying to tell you how you should feel about what I'm saying. I'm just trying to be a messenger so that you can finally hear what it's saying, and then you can deal with it however you want to deal with it. So I am a messenger. A minister is a messenger of God. I'm a messenger. So don't shoot the messenger. And I didn't write the Course in Miracles, so I'm not going to defend it because I didn't write it. Okay, didn't come from Earl's ego. So are we clear? Yes. Okay, all right. Okay, so then, and I don't care how far I get. I'd much rather us remember what I'm saying than speed along. So let's repeat it, right? So your ego, the part of you that doesn't know what love is, it advises you that when guilt comes up, that you should go into forgetfulness, sleep, or even death. The reason why you think you're in conflict right now, if you think you're in conflict right now, is because you think you're in a war and that there's opponents out there and that there's something in the world that could destroy you. And so therefore, that gets rid of your peace of mind, because it's hard to have peace when you think you could be destroyed and something's trying to destroy you. It's hard to meditate on the battlefield. It's hard to meditate on the battlefield. It's hard to meditate on a battlefield. So the Course in Miracles says, yeah, if you could but realize, what is it that you need to realize? What is it that you need to realize? That this is a war between real powers and unreal powers. This is a conflict between what's real and what's not real. You're in a conflict between what? Between what's real and what is not real. And guess what? If you would realize that you're in a war with what isn't real in the first place, what's going to happen? You could look at yourself and see your freedom. So how do you see your freedom? By realizing that you're in a conflict with something that doesn't even exist and is not even opposing you. There is nobody that's opposing you. There is nobody that's opposing you. There's nothing out there that's trying to get you. You are thinking that you are in danger and threatened in a way you really aren't. The Course in Miracles says, but you have to realize you're in a war between the real and unreal. So that's the catch. See, we don't realize that it's a war between the real and unreal powers. And so since we don't realize that what we're fighting really is in our own mind and nowhere else, then that's why you don't feel free, and that's why you don't see your freedom. You don't see your freedom because you don't think you're free, so what do? Well, the Course says, no one finds himself ravaged. No one finds himself ravaged and torn in endless battles. So what are you? I'm ravished and torn in endless battles. Oh my. I'm ravished and torn in endless battles. Oh my. I'm ravished and torn in, hey Earl, how you doing? Hey man, I'm doing pretty good. I'm just ravished and torn in endless battles. What about you? How's your day going? I'm ravished and torn in endless battles. I'm ravished and torn with endless battles about money. I'm ravished and torn with endless battles about my health. And I'm ravished and torn with endless battles about my relationships. I'm just ravished and torn. I like the ravished part, the torn I got a problem with. It's been a while since I've been ravished. I'm okay about the ravishing, y'all. Okay. But nobody wants to ravish me. I warn you, the price you'll pay for becoming sane is that nobody in the world will be interested in you. Your lovers are going to drop off, I promise you. We love crazy people. We don't love sane people. We fall in love with crazy people. That's what we like. Right, so I'm going to warn you right now, the more sane you become, the less crazy people are going to want to love on you. And since most people are crazy until they wake up, it may seem like for a while there's less people for you to love on. But don't be tempted to go back to try to hook up with the crazy people again because you feel lonely. Yeah. The new people coming, they're coming. You have to just keep on your purpose. So the Course in Miracles says, no one finds himself ravaged and torn in endless battles if he himself perceives the endless battles as totally without meaning. So how do you get free of seeing yourself as in endless battles? Tell yourself, there's no meaning to me. There's no meaning in me going through pain and conflict all the time. Me going through pain and conflict all the time, that doesn't mean anything. I don't want me going through pain and conflict all the time to mean something. I don't want to think pain and conflict is what's necessary for me to have true meaning of something. I don't want to believe that these battles that I am going through really mean something. If they don't mean anything, then I'll let them go. The battle that doesn't mean anything, the conflict that doesn't mean anything, the pain that doesn't mean anything, I'll let that pain go. Because there's something you need to remember. And what is it? The Course says, well, you need to remember that your Creator doesn't want you going through all this stuff. Your Creator doesn't want you to be in battle. What do you mean, Earl? Love doesn't want you to be in battle. Nobody who loves you wants you to be in conflict all the time. Nobody that loves you wants you to be in fear and guilt all the time. We have got to learn the difference between love and guilt. We've got to learn the difference between what's love and what's not love, so we'll stop entering these relationships with all these people that we know we ain't got no business being with because they don't love us. Stop hooking up with people that don't love you. The only reason why you do it is you don't recognize what's love and what's not love. So somebody needs to teach you what love is so you stop making them bum choices that you make a lot of times. And I'm not talking about just romance. I'm talking about any relationship. I'm not just talking about, it's any relationship that you're giving yourself total conflict about, that you feel like you're invested in, and if they would just be different, you'd be happy. So the Course in Miracles is saying the first thing you want to do is you want to realize your Creator doesn't want you to be in battle and that your imagined enemy is not real. you don't have an enemy. Your imagined enemy is not real. Your imagined enemy is not real. So what does that mean when I tell you that your imagined enemy is not real? It means you're just trying to escape from a bitter war that you have escaped. You're trying to escape from something you've already escaped from. You're trying to escape from a fear you've already escaped from. You're trying to escape from a guilt that you've already escaped from. You're trying to escape from a separation from God that you've already escaped from. You're trying to escape from a lack that you've already escaped from. You're trying to escape from a sickness that you've already escaped from. What? Well, what I'm trying to tell you is what? The war is gone. The war is gone. The fear is gone. The conflict is gone. Now, you may be feeling, none of the things that you're saying right now are very accurate because I'm actually feeling embattled and threatened and that the war is going on. That's okay. I didn't say you, did you notice it said imagined? It says imagined enemy. So yeah, you're telling me what you're imagining. I'm not at all trying to argue with the fact that you are imagining that you still have fear, and you are imagining that you still have conflict, and you are imagining that you still have guilt, and you're imagining that you still have lack. That's why you see it, because you're imagining it. Because everything you see is an image you've made. Everything you see is an image you've made. Everything you see is an image you're making. You're making all the images that you see. Everything you see is an image that you are making. So yes, you may think the war is still going on. You may think the conflict and the fear is still going on in your life right now. But my job is to deliver a message. The war is gone. The fear is gone. Because you've heard the hymn of freedom. You finally begin to hear that song of freedom that's coming to you from heaven, which is your reality. There's some people who are on the spiritual path, and they stay on the spiritual path because they're beginning to hear the song of love. They're beginning to hear the messages of love. They're beginning to hear that loving voice talking to them, and it's making them continue on their spiritual path. So you need to have gladness and joy, and you need to offer that gladness and joy to your Creator, because your Creator has given you your release. Love is giving you your release. So if someone loves you, they release you. Someone who loves you, they release you. Someone who loves you experiences gladness and joy with you. Somebody that loves you and somebody you love. There's no war between you. There is no battle between you. In a relationship with someone you love and someone that loves you, there is freedom. And so the truth is, you haven't made a war that could endanger freedom. So all the things that you think you've done have not changed the fact that you are still free. You are still free. You are still free no matter what you believe about yourself. You're still free no matter what you've done. You're still free no matter what you believe. I'm here to tell you that I don't care how limited you feel right now. The truth is, you're free feeling limited. You're free feeling limited. So when I'm going to keep interchanging this, because God is love, and the Course in Miracles is trying to teach us the difference between love and what's not love. And it says if you know the difference between it, then you would choose for love. But you don't know the difference between it. So as I go through the Course in Miracles from here on out, I'm going to try to make it as personal to us as I possibly can. So not only would God, if God loves me, God would set me free. Then if anybody loved me, that they would want me to be free. So that's what the Course is doing. It's like, so somebody that tries to limit you and someone that you're limiting, you all are not experiencing real love with each other. You're not guilty. You're not bad. You're not sinful. It's just not real love. That's all I want you to know. Enjoy it. The specialness feels good, especially when you're telling each other that and you really mean it. I mean, you're really saying you're the only one in the world for me, and you really mean it. You really feel like that person is the only one in the world for you. Or you say to that person, I love you more than anybody. You evoke more passion and joy in me than anybody. That's the truth. That person may indeed be evoking more passion and joy in you than anybody. So when you tell a person special things, you're not lying to them, unless you don't mean what you're saying, because you could actually mean, I like you more than I like anybody. We don't have the same feelings for everybody. Everybody don't have the same level of specialness with us. We know they don't. So if you tell somebody, I want you more than anything and anybody in the world, you could really mean that. That could really be what you actually mean. I just want you to know that it's not love. That's all. It's not love. But why? Not because it's bad that you do that, but because the Course in Miracles says love is something that gives you gladness and joy, something that doesn't limit you, something that doesn't have any guilt. It says right here, nothing destructive ever was or will ever be. Nothing destructive ever was, nothing destructive will ever be. So what does that mean? It means that there is not anything that's real that can be destroyed. Nothing that's real can be threatened. If it's real, it can be destroyed. If it's real, it can be destroyed. If it's real, it cannot be destroyed. If it's real, it cannot be destroyed. If it's real, it cannot be destroyed. If I really love you, there is nothing that can end that love for you. Not one single solitary thing that you do or don't do would change my love for you. If it is real love, it is indestructible because you were created by something that loves you so much, it wanted you to live forever.
Wow.
Something loved you so much that it wants you to live eternally. You got to give up your desire for death. Okay? The only reason why people die is because at some level they want to. Because what we really are is love. And love is indestructible. And love is eternal. And love never ends. Are you with me? So now remember now, you don't have to believe this. You don't have to believe what I'm saying. I'm not telling you this so that you have to necessarily accept this, believe it, welcome it, think it's real, or think it's true. Let's not forget our purpose. Our purpose of an Earl Purdy class is the remembering of what it's saying. Not you necessarily believing it or understanding it. Even though I really can't understand why the idea that if something really loved you, it wouldn't create you just to die one day. I don't think that that's a way out idea that, because that didn't make sense to me. I remember being a kid, and the thing that I was most upset about, a little kid, like 6, 7 years old, was I was obsessed with how much time I had to live before I died. Now, and other kids asking for a toy. I was asking for, why I have to die? So I was looked at as pretty weird when I was a kid, when I was growing up. As a matter of fact, my family calls me Maine. That's my nickname, Maine. They said because I was like a little old man when I was a kid. So my mother called me Maine. Mama's a little man because if you're black and you're Southern, you don't say man. You say Maine. You're a Maine. I want to grow up to be a good Maine. That's what you do, right? So the point that I'm telling you is that the Course in Miracles makes so much sense that it won't make sense to us. Like, if something really loved you, why would it create you so that you would grow old and die one day and everybody you love would too? How could anything that loves you say that you needed to die and everything else around you needed to die? And we know we ask these kind of questions, but then we kind of put them in the back of our mind. But every one of y'all have asked that question, right? So the Course in Miracles is trying to get us to understand that you're right. What's real isn't destructive, and what's real never will be destructive. So do you know that all of the guilt and the past and the war are gone? The guilt is gone, your past is gone, the war is gone. Your guilt is gone, your past is gone, your war is gone. Your guilt is gone, your guilt is gone, your guilt is gone, your guilt is gone. Your guilt is gone. Your guilt is over. Your guilt is over. Your guilt is over. Your guilt is over. Your guilt is gone. Your guilt. Then it brings up every part of you that feels guilty when I say that. When I say that, all your thoughts of guilt come up. What do you mean? What do you mean I don't have no guilt at all about nothing? You probably found yourself going, no, my guilt isn't gone. My guilt isn't gone. I still have some guilt. This is what the truth does. The truth brings up anything unlike itself to be released. So if I tell you you're totally without sin and you're innocent and you're guiltless, every ounce of your belief in your sin and your guilt is going to come up. And to be what? Released. To be released. To be seen as just your call for love. That's how you let it go. That's how you let it go. I'll say it one more time. What did I say? I said that nothing destructive has been created or ever will be, and that your guilt is really gone back into the unreality that it came out of. I'm telling you what's happened, but you don't realize it yet. I'm telling you what has happened, but you don't realize it yet. What is it that's happened that you don't realize yet? That the war is gone and that your guilt is gone and everything you think you've done in the past is gone back into the unreality that it came from. I'm just letting you know what's already happened. You being on your spiritual path is your way of learning how to recognize what's already happened. Your spiritual path just gives you the ability to recognize the blessings that you've already received. The purpose of a spiritual path is to give you the steps to become aware of the blessings that you've already received, the blessings that you've already received, the blessings you've already received. So a blessing that you've already received that you may not know about is what? That you don't die, that what you really are is not destructible, that the war is over, that you don't have any enemies, and that you deserve the total fulfillment of perfect joy. That's what I'm reminding you of. You deserve to be happy. You deserve to be happy. You deserve to be happy. What? You deserve to be happy. You deserve to be happy. Repetition. You deserve to be happy. You deserve to be happy. You deserve to be happy. Because what's going to happen when we are all united in love? What's going to happen when all of us have finally joined in love? Would you like to know what's going to happen when all of us have joined in love? You will be able to tell when you really, really, really tapped into what's really wonderful and really valuable. You'll know when you really tapped into perfect joy and what's really real, because you won't value anything that you value here. How do I know when I'm really getting to real love? Well, you won't value anything that you're receiving in fear and guilt, because you will know that nothing that you're receiving in fear and guilt is really valuable. That nobody that's giving you a lot of guilt and fear is really a valuable person in your life. No one that's judging you, condemning you, and always mad at you, that's not a valuable person in your life. That is not a valuable person in your life. Who's attacking you is not a valuable person in your life. And that voice that's attacking you is not a valuable voice. So the Course in Miracles is saying, but you won't know that until we've all united in love. And so when we all unite in love, then we'll stop valuing the things that hurt us. So until we join in love, we'll keep on valuing stuff that hurts us, believing in people that hurt us, giving ourselves situations that hurt us. Why? Because we're not united in love. We're not united in freedom. We're not united in oneness. When you become united in oneness, you won't value the things that hurt you. God, I could have been using my Kindle. I was like straining, My body's eyes are not what they used to be. I think I need little bits of glass before my eyes in order to see correctly. That's how I fool myself. But fortunately, since I think I need glasses, then I have them. That's what you always want. It's okay to have a need as long as it's met, right? So the Course in Miracles is saying, is this cool? Everybody with me? Everybody with me? Okay, all right, okay. Okay, now, wow, this is really deep, y'all. It says, the next sentence says, for nothing that you value here in fear and separation in the world do you value wholly, and so you do not value it at all. Okay, so how do I know when you don't value me at all in a relationship? I know because you don't value me totally. And so unless you totally value me, you don't value me at all. What? No, you can't do no partial value on me. You can't be valuing me a little bit. Unless you are totally valuing me, you're not really valuing me at all. And I do not want to be in a relationship with a person that doesn't value me. And I don't want to be in relationships with people that don't totally value me. So I have to totally value also. But just a little bit of value in me, he says, well, here it is. Value, nothing that you value here do you value wholly. And so you do not value anything here at all. Now, here's the problem. Do you know what real value is? The Course in Miracles says value is where God placed it. Value is where love placed it. Whatever love values, that's what's valuable. So if I love you, you're valuable to me. If I love you, you're valuable to me. If you love me, I'm valuable to you. If you truly love me, I'm valuable to you. if you love this teaching, if you love this class, if you love what I'm doing with you right now, you will totally value it, and I will value you. So unless there's total value, there is no value, but real value is where love places value, which is God, and the value of what love esteems cannot be judged because its value has been established. So why am I judging you? Because I'm trying to decide whether or not to value you. But if I've already valued you, I have no reason to judge because the decision has already been made. You're valuable to me. And since you're totally valuable to me, I know who you are and what you are, so there's no need for me to judge you. So you automatically stop judging people you value. So how can you tell when you value somebody? You will not be judging them, condemning them, and criticizing them. Why? Because they'll be so lovely and so valuable to you, it would never occur to you to judge them because you don't see nothing about them that's messed up. So you wouldn't even think to judge me because all you see with me is something that you value. So you wouldn't even think to criticize me. So somebody that loves you is not criticizing and judging you. Why? Because they completely see your value, so they've already judged what you are valuable, so there's no need for them to judge you anymore. This is on this book. I'm not this smart or loving. Then y'all know I'm not like this at all. Don't confuse the messenger with the message. Okay. Wow. Do you really think I have to be a genuine, honest, and teacher with integrity for what I'm saying to be valuable to you? That's not a very smart perception. I could be giving you very valuable information and not be able to live up to anything that I'm saying. That doesn't mean that if you didn't use the message, you wouldn't still benefit. You know, if I told you that my shoes were upstairs, it would make any difference whether I was sober or sane or crazy or not crazy or sincere or not sincere. If the message is your shoes are upstairs in the bedroom, and if you listen to the message, you'll still get what you want, which is the shoes in the bedroom. So no matter what the characteristics of the messenger is, if the message is true, the message will benefit you. Yeah, so don't be all caught up on whether that person really is integrity. If they're telling you the truth and giving you proper direction, if you follow it, you'll get the prize. That's all you want to do. You want to make sure the message is true. Don't be all caught up in the messenger. Right? And the Course in Miracles says, this is what I meant by saying, see, I'm telling you how somebody would treat you that loved you. I'm telling you how someone who loves you would see you. First of all, they wouldn't judge you. Why? Because you would be so valuable to them, and they would see you as being so valuable that it would never be a need for them to judge you. Because they see how valuable and how beautiful and how wonderful and how loved you are. If I really love you, I wouldn't even want to judge you. Because I've already judged you. I see you as someone I love, and I see you as valuable. Totally valuable. So then the Course in Miracles says, if God values something, it's totally a value. If love values something, it's totally a value. So that means that you can merely be appreciated or not. What is it? The Course says, there's only two things happening with you, buddy. You're either being appreciated or not appreciated. What's happening in that relationship? You're either being appreciated or not appreciated. What's happening on that job? You're either being appreciated or not appreciated. What's happening with all your friends and relatives and everything you're doing and everybody you're doing? You're either being appreciated or not appreciated. So everything, you're valuable. So people who come into your life only have two choices. They can either value you, appreciate you, or not appreciate you. You're already valuable. You don't need them to be valuable. You're already valuable. You don't need another person to be valuable. So everybody that comes into your life, they're going to do two things. They're either going to appreciate you or not appreciate you. So ask yourself, who in my life is appreciating me, and who in my life is not appreciating me in my perception, and who am I appreciating in my life, and who am I not appreciating? Because everybody in your life is valuable. You're either appreciating them or not appreciating them. Everyone in your life is valuable because God created them, and so therefore they are valuable. They are valuable because they were created by love. They're valuable because they were created by God. And you just have two things to do with anybody you meet and anybody you with. You're either appreciating them or you're not appreciating them. And they're either appreciating you or not appreciating you. That's the only thing that's going on in all your relationships, no matter what you think your relationships are about. I'm going to be dramatic. When we are all united in heaven, you will value nothing that you value here. When you are united in love, you will value nothing that you value here. I say you value nothing that you value here. Because nothing that you value here do you value completely, since there's nothing here that you are not valuing completely. You're not valuing it at all. If you're not valuing me completely, you are not valuing me at all. If I'm not valuing you completely, I am not valuing you at all. Value is where God placed value. What's valuable is what is valuable to God. What is valuable is what is valuable to God. And you are valuable because you are valuable to God. You are valuable. Because you are valuable to love, you are valuable. You are valuable. You are invaluable. You are valuable. You are valuable. You are valuable. You are valuable. Value is where God placed it. The value of what God esteems can be judged. You can't be judged because you are more valuable than the people around you can see. You are more valuable than the people around you can see. You are more valuable than the people around you can see. You are more valuable than the people around you can see. You are more valuable than the people in your life can see. You're probably more valuable than the people around you can see. You are more valuable than the people around you can see. If they have fear and guilt, if they have fear and guilt, if they have fear and guilt, it means that you are more valuable than the people around you can see. Because if they have any fear and any guilt, they can't really truly recognize what's valuable and what's really love. So you can merely be appreciated or not appreciated. Ask yourself, who's appreciating you or not appreciating you? Are you appreciating you or not appreciating you? But if you value something partially, you don't really know how valuable it is. If you just value me partially, then you don't really know how valuable I am. If I value you partially, if I value you just a little bit, if I just value certain parts of you, then I don't really value you at all. I don't really value you at all. So somebody that just partly values you, then they don't really know your value, because if someone really knew your value, they would see how priceless you are, and so they would give you total appreciation. They wouldn't be holding back, because all they saw was something so good, something so valuable, that they just immediately valued you completely. If someone sees how beautiful you are, when they really see how beautiful you are, they can't help but value you. They don't sit back and go, I'm going to decide whether or not I'm going to appreciate Earl or not. No, if you really saw my beauty, if you really saw my value 100%, then you would just totally value me. And if you totally valued me, you wouldn't judge me. If you totally valued me, you wouldn't judge me. If someone totally values you, they don't judge you. If someone totally values you, they don't judge you. If someone totally values you, they don't judge you. If someone is totally loving you, isn't condemning you, criticizing you. I used to not really like the chorus at first, because when I would listen to the conditions of what it said, love somebody totally valuing you no matter what, giving you freedom, giving you unconditional love, I had to say to myself, well, you know, the truth is that I don't love nobody, and there's nobody loving me. Because I don't know anybody that passes all these tests that I just said today, me personally. So, and I don't see it happening with nobody I know. Don't think you're doing great either in my eyes. Okay, just want to get y'all clear. Y'all not impressed. I'm not impressed with y'all's love either. Okay, so it's a lot like mine. That's one of the reasons why. I don't want nobody to love like me. Please. I need an improvement. Right? And this is what the chorus is saying to us. You know, I don't think it's this simple. I don't think it's as simple as I'm really valuable, so everybody in my life is either appreciating me or not appreciating me. Like he says, in heaven is everything God values and nothing else. So in love is everything that love values and nothing else. If I'm in love, then the only thing that's in this relationship is what love values. And love values us totally like God values us. And if we're doing this in love, we have complete appreciation of each other. And we see each other from a place of total gratitude. That's how you can tell when somebody loves you. They seem so grateful for you. And then the Course in Miracles says, heaven is perfectly unambiguous. Then what does that mean, that love is unambiguous? What does it mean? What do you mean love is unambiguous? Well, if it's love, everything is clear. Love is everything. So if you and you are in love with each other, it's clear we love each other. Wherever there's love, there's clarity. It's none of that, I wonder if I'm in love with her. I wonder if I love that. I wonder if I love them. If you're wondering, no. Why? Anybody you wondering if you're in love with them, you're not. What? You can't resist somebody you really love. You can't resist somebody you really love. You can't resist something that you really love. You can't resist something that you really love. You can't resist something that you really love. Why would you want to? And if it's love, it's going to be safe. So there's no such thing as surrendering to something that's going to hurt you if you're surrendering to love, because love is not destructible. Nothing that comes of love can hurt. So you don't hold back from love because you know love can't hurt you. So love you're holding back from ain't love. You're afraid. You're afraid of that person. And probably rightfully so, based on your track record. Who you know you shouldn't give your phone number to? The one you want to. Why? Because think about your past choices. So the fact you're attracted to them probably means they're the worst person in the world for you to be with. Why? Because you're a past record. If you got a past record and you look back and all you see is your choices in special relationships with painful choices and choices that did not give you peace, then the mere fact that you are attracted to somebody should be a red flag. It should make you go, I need to step back and ask myself, what is the purpose? What is it for? How is this going to be different? What do I want out of this? The fact that you're attracted should be a clue to you that you need to stop right then and ask yourself, what do I treasure and how much do I treasure it? What's really important to me? Is my peace really important to me? Is my value really important to me? And he says it right here. If it's love, everything is clear. If it's love, everything is bright. And most of all, do you know what happens if it's really love? Love calls forth one response. So if it's love, if it's real, it's going to evoke only one response from you. There's going to be only one way that you respond. If it is what? If it is heaven, if it is perfect joy, if it is love, then it's perfectly unambiguous. So what does that mean? If it's love, there's no doubt. There's only clarity. It's clear. It's bright. And it's just going to call from you one way of reacting. There will be no darkness if it's love. That means there will be no fear. If it's love, there will be no contrast. What do you mean there won't be any contrast? It's going to be love and only love and nothing but love. That's what I mean by there is no contrast. There is nothing else but it, which is your love, your happiness, your joy, your freedom. That's it. There is no variation. That doesn't sound like fun. Well, you don't understand. When I say there's no variation, I'm saying to you that the love will always be there. You will never lose the love. The love will always be there, and it'll always be there in the form that is best for you. Love will always be there. There will be no variation. You won't be getting love and fear, love and guilt, love and lack, love and limitation. There won't be any variation. It will just be love. Now, here's the other good thing if it's love. If it's love, ooh. There will be no interruption. If it's really love, it won't be interrupted. If I love you, nothing can interrupt it. If I love you, nothing can interrupt it. Nothing can interrupt my love for you. Nothing can interrupt my love for you. Nothing can interrupt my love for you. If it's real love, nothing can interrupt it. If it's peace, if it's true abundance, if it's true freedom. See how the Course in Miracles is trying to teach us the difference between what's real and what's not. And if you're in fear, pain, and upset, let me tell you something. You don't really know the difference between the two. You really don't know the difference between what's real and what's not. If you're in any kind of conflict or fear, So what do you need? You need to learn the difference between love and fear. You need to know the difference between when you're choosing something that's going to give you peace and when you're not. And that's what the Course in Miracles does. It teaches you how to tell the difference between truth and illusion, what's real and what's not. Then you will make the right choice. You're sane enough to make the right choice the once you know the difference. Okay? That's all the Course in Miracles is doing. That's it. Now, what you do with that is up to you. But it's like you're going to make your own choices. But at least know what's real and what's unreal in your choice. So the Course says there is no interruption. So what do you experience if you don't experience an interruption of the love? Well, the Course says what you experience is a sense of peace that's so deep. You experience a sense of total fulfillment that's so deep. You experience what? You experience a sense of peace, a sense of total fulfillment that is so deep that no dream, no fear in this world has ever brought even a dim imagining. Nothing you've ever experienced in this world has given you even a dim imagining of what real peace and joy feels like. There's nothing you've experienced in this world. There's no peace that's even close to the kind of peace that the truth gives you, that God gives you, that real love gives you. That's what it says in this last sentence. There is a sense of peace so deep. There is a sense of peace so deep. There is a sense of peace so deep. There's a sense of peace so deep. There's a sense of peace that no dream in this world, nothing that you have experienced in this world has ever brought you even a dim imagining of what this kind of peace and joy is like. That means there is nothing you've ever experienced in your happiest moment. Your happiest, most thrilling moment wasn't even a dim imagining of what it's like to have the peace of true love, the peace of God, the peace of heaven, the peace of truth. That's the first thing you need to remember. That there's nothing here that you have ever experienced that even comes close to how good it feels to be in the peace of love, in the peace of God. There's nothing you've ever experienced here, nothing that you've ever experienced here, nothing that you can even imagine that you've ever experienced here in happiness that it's even close to a dim imagining of what real peace feels like, what real total fulfillment feels like. There's a total fulfillment, there's a peace, there's a perfect joy beyond anything you've ever experienced. There's a joy and a peace beyond anything that you've ever experienced. And it's already here and it's already available to you. There's a joy and a peace beyond anything you've already experienced is already available to you. There's a sense of happiness and fulfillment and perfect joy and love that's available to you right now. Right now. All right. Okay, so we'll do a little quick couple of things to recap this in just a minute. And I want you to know I thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm a full-time teacher of A Course in Miracles. And if you'd like to make a donation to my teaching ministry, I would surely appreciate that. Just go to my website, Earl Purdy, PURDY.com. EarlPurdy.com. And you can also use Venmo. My email address is earlpurdy@earlpurdy.com. And you can also use the Cash App. It's just Earl Purdy, PayPal. I'm willing to receive in all ways. Thank you so much for sharing with me and seeing value in what I offer. Thank you. I'm available for one-on-one sessions, counseling, mentoring, showing you how to take these principles and apply it to your everyday life in a practical way to handle things that you're going through right now. And I've also been an astrologer and a numerologist for over 4 decades. And if you're open-minded in that way, then I can also share some insights that comes in that form, because the truth comes in many forms. If you'd like to have a clarity session, go to my website. You can self-book it right online at earlpurdy.com. And it'll give you all the details about it. On Thursdays, I do what I call Hardcore Course in Miracles, Hardcore Course in Miracles, with the focus on the practical application of the course with Course in Miracles students, even though everybody's welcome to watch. 7 p.m. Mountain Time on the Earl Purdy page on Facebook. And then Sundays at 1 p.m. Mountain Time on the Earl Purdy page. Share this video, please, and listen to it and watch it at least 4 times. At least 4 times. All right. And that music was John Christmas. It's johnchristmas.com. So listen, you might want to just close your eyes and take a little trip for a couple of minutes. 3 or 4 minutes. Let yourself listen. Guess what? How can you tell if someone loves you? How can you tell if someone loves you? How can you tell if someone loves you? That you don't have any enemy. There's no one for you to escape from. You won't see your freedom as long as you think there is someone that's opposing you. You're trying to escape from a fear and a conflict and a lack that you've already escaped from, but you don't know it. You've already escaped from every problem that you think you have, but you don't know it. You should be willing to feel thankful to God, to love for your release, because you didn't make freedom, so you can't make a war that can endanger your freedom. You didn't make your freedom, so you can't take your freedom away. You didn't create your freedom, you were created free. So you can't take your freedom away even if you wanted to. Because you didn't make yourself, you cannot take your freedom away. Because you did not make yourself, you can't take your freedom away. Because you didn't make yourself, you can't take your abundance away. Because you didn't make yourself, you can't take your joy away. Because it was created for you. Your abundance was created for you, for you. Your loving was created for you, for you. Your freedom was created for you, because nothing destructible and nothing destructive will ever be. So your conflict, your guilt, and your past are gone. Your conflict, your guilt, and your past are gone. Your conflict, your guilt, and your past is gone. So when we are all united in love, what's going to happen? But when we're all united in love, we're not going to value any of this fear and conflict here. And if you don't value each other completely, you don't value each other at all. You are valuable. You are totally valuable. You are completely valuable. You are completely valuable. You are completely valuable because you were created by God. You were created by love. You are completely valuable. You are completely valuable. And someone who truly values you, they don't judge you. Because someone who truly values you, they've already made their judgment. Their judgment is that you are completely and totally valuable. Their judgment is that you are completely and totally lovable. Their judgment on you is that you are completely and totally valuable. So someone who loves you doesn't judge you because they only see your value, so they only appreciate you. You are valuable. You are valuable. So everyone around you can only appreciate you or not. So if it's love, if it's truth, everything is clear and it's bright. So if you can see the love and the truth and it's clear and it's bright, true love, seeing true value, just calls for one response. If someone loves you, they only have one response. And that response is appreciate you. They appreciate you. They fully value and appreciate you. There's no difference in the love. There's no variation in the love. There's no interruption in the love. It's always there. There's no variation in the love. The love is always there. There's no interruption in the love. The love is always there. If it's love, it's so good that it is so good, and it is so good, and it is so good that you wouldn't think to judge something this good unless you judged it as good. Wow. So now you know the difference between love and what is not love. And we're going to continue next time. Appreciate y'all.
Yeah.
Whoa. Whoa.